Now we'll do another example to determine two ways to restrict the domain of this. And like I said, on a quiz, I will probably have your page split up with two graphs provided so that you can split it up. Remember, these questions ask you to do 6 things. 3 things twice. Restrict the domain twice, find the equation twice, show it graphically twice. So on your quiz, I will split it up so you have 2 graphs so you can do that right away. Okay? The first thing we want to do is restrict the domain. I'm going to do this side in blue, this side in green. Okay. So in restricting the domain, I first imagine, what does this parabola look like? Maybe off to the side up here. I draw a quick little graph of it. It's going to be moved 3 to the left and 5 down. So my vertex is at -3, -5, and that parabola would be opening up. Right now, that parabola does not pass the horizontal line test, so my inverse would not be a function. But if I only took half of the parabola, if I restricted the domain, I could make it pass the horizontal line test. The x-coordinate of my vertex is going to be important for splitting that parabola in half. So on my blue one, I will take my x-coordinate and just choose x is bigger than or equal to -3. On my green one, I'll choose the other half when x is less than or equal to -3. And so I'm going to draw -3, -5, that vertex. And if I went x is bigger than or equal to 3, I'm going to label a couple of more points. I would have -2, -4, and -1, -1. So I plugged in some values, and this side, I only have that half of the parabola. For my green one...
Hi, so sorry to interrupt.
Hello?
Did you ask Gabby to stop by the office before at the bell?
Yes.
Thank you.
And on my green one, I would have the left side of it. Now, if I've drawn both of those halves, it's the easiest way to draw the inverse is to use your graph. I'm going to draw the inverse on both of them in purple. So if I had -3, -5, and I switched my x and y coordinates, can you see that you would have -5, -3? If I had -2, -4, I would have -4, -2. And -1, -1 will actually stay the same. There's my inverse. Well, my dots are a little bit off in my scale. Not very happy about that. Whatever. It's good enough for now. So I have taken and I switched my x and y coordinates. And I drew my inverse for that one. Same thing over here. I'm going to go -5, -3. That point is the same on both graphs. -4, -4, that one's not going to change because I switched x and y. But -5, -1 will be -1, -5. and I have my inverse drawn on that. So now I've used the graph both times. The last thing I need to do is I need to show my equation for both of them. So how do you find the equation? You switch x and y and solve algebraically. I'm going to do that in black. We'll leave some space here. Right? I'm going to take my equation. I'm going to switch the x and the y values. So my original equation up here was x plus 3, so now it's going to be y plus 3 minus 5. I switched my x and y values. I'm going to get the y plus 3 squared by itself by moving the 5 to the other side. Square root both sides. And then I can get y by itself by subtracting 3 on both sides. And I get 1 with a plus and 1 with a minus. So now we have to decide with our original equation which one should be the plus, which one should be the minus. That minus out front is your vertical reflection. So when looking at my purple graphs, and you see that the second one had the vertical reflection because it's now going down. The first one did not. So when writing my inverse equation, this one will be the positive. Look down at my equation. X plus 5 minus 3. That's the equation of my inverse for this one. And for the green one, it would have the negative that would be the equation of the inverse for the green. We did all 6 things. We restricted the domain. We showed it graphically for each one. And we found the equation of the inverse for each one. I color-coded this and specifically showed the black part is something that I did for both of them, right? When I found the inverse algebraically, switching the x and the y, that did the plus or minus. That was working on both of them. Then I had to decide which one was going to be the positive one, which one had the vertical reflection, and was going to be the negative one. All right. So, tomorrow,